One of the things that they taught at my seminary is that they can't teach everything at seminary, and that's very true. They did a good job. They really did on providing practical education for ministry, not just academic training, but they were very insistent on the fact that there were things along the way as a minister that you're just not going to be prepared for, you weren't going to know how to do from seminary. And that's one of the things that I've been running into when it comes to planning the Potter's Church that I've discussed on a few occasions when it comes to just handling the finances, trying to decide on what kind of business status to have, how you register with the state, and banking, those sorts of things. And so there has been some frustration with that. Obviously not enough to really throw me off that much, but I just thought I would share, this is a part of the process I guess you don't generally see. And so maybe to get a look at that could be useful, maybe to somebody else who's going to be doing it later on, or just for you to see the curiosity and watch me kind of pull my hair out over it a little bit. And I also did thankfully have an opportunity recently. I had a friend who watched one of my other videos whose father actually is a church planner who's done it a couple times. And so I had the opportunity to talk with him too, just to get a few pointers. And that was a really encouraging conversation because he was able to tell me that it's not like it needs to be done right away. And so just take my time, get to the church to the point where it's able to move forward on the process, and then decide then what to do where nonprofit status is concerned, whether to have an LLC or whatever else, a corporation, tax exemption or not. All of those things, they don't have to be done immediately, and it's not really going to do any real harm. And so that was good to hear. But I figured I would just share, the more frustrating aspect that I'm talking about, because one of the things I was able to find out is that Pennsylvania, and I think a lot of other states, they have something called unincorporated nonprofit association status. And basically what that would usually be for is maybe a baseball association or something where you're collecting donations for a short-term project, not something long-term, and for a specific use. So it's not the sort of thing that would generally be what a church would be for, but I was thinking of maybe doing that at the beginning for the Potter's Church, just be able to set things up and especially be able to get a bank account, because you can't get a business checking account unless you have some form of incorporating paper from the state. And if you do that for actually incorporating, or for going for nonprofit, or for going for tax exemption, then that gets to be really costly, like up into the thousands of dollars. And so I was thinking to be able to do it more quickly, I could do the unincorporated nonprofit association, and that would give it some business structure while also providing a little bit of, well, I guess that would be what, indemnification for any officers that were involved, to try to limit some of that financial liability if, and obviously praying God forbids that from happening, but if something like that were to happen, it would provide a little bit of a cushion. And so that's what I was thinking. And so I started looking into that process and started looking for the paperwork, and found a website for the state of Pennsylvania, our government here, to be able to start that process, and I was able to find out about it and what I could do moving forward with it. So I went to the next website that was supposed to have the paperwork, and the paperwork doesn't exist on their website. So the state's telling you to go to their own website for their paperwork that they don't provide. So I tried doing some emails and tried doing some phone calls in order to get information, but of course with COVID-19, everything is shut down. So there's nobody to talk to, there's nobody to go to in order to say, what am I actually supposed to do to try to pursue this so that I can get this association, so that I can get a bank account, so that if people write checks, they have somewhere to go, all of those things that go into that. And it just has been, like I'm saying, something that nothing I've done before really could have prepared me for. So it has been interesting, but again, it's not discouraging because it's just part of the process. I knew that there would be difficulties, but ultimately I'm more concerned with the possibilities and with what has occurred to this point, just as doors have been opening. These things aren't enough to slow me down. So in any case, like I said, I thought I would share that. They maybe find that interesting, be able to laugh along with me at that as this is going on. If you have any maybe further thoughts on this, maybe you know somebody, or maybe you know a lawyer even, or somebody who would be interested in doing that for free. I hate asking that, but I'm not in a position to be able to spend the type of money yet that hopefully we eventually would be able to do. But if it were to happen now, it would have to be somebody doing it pro bono. And why not pray for that, right? Maybe there is somebody out there that's willing to do that, but or anything else with the church too. Like I've talked about before, services are going to be at 4 o'clock in the evening on Sundays. And so if you had that as a time that you were available and you wanted to help out and be involved, and there were certain ways, certain ministries that you would want to perform, like I have somebody who is interested in leading music. So that was great. That's already been an answer to prayer. Somebody else who has some interest in doing some of the tech side of things. That's great as well. So any of those things, maybe outside the box that you're thinking about, and you want to be involved, or if you know how to play a musical instrument and you want to do that for us every once in a while, just let me know. You can email me or message me on Facebook to do that. And as always, whatever else you're doing, whether you can come or not, the video is about to end, so take a minute to say a prayer that things will continue to progress for the Potter's Church, and that it will ultimately be a place that is leading people to Christ, that's molding their hearts and shaping their minds for Him, and that it will be glorifying to God. Thanks so much for following along with all of this. And until next time, keep looking up.